Hey everyone, how's it going? So today you're joining me with Dolores, a punk rock hardcore band from San Jose, California. Would you guys mind doing me a favor introducing yourselves?
Name's Leo.
Joey.
Cool. So today we're here to talk more about the origins of Dolores, kind of how COVID is affecting the band at the moment, and just to learn a bit more about the band's kind of process and what they how they approach music in general. So first things first, I mean, keep it relevant. How has COVID been kind of affecting you guys?
Yeah, well, for lack of a better word, it's been weak, man. It's been pretty weak. Yeah, this month we have slated our EP release for our third EP coming out now. So that show got canceled out. We had a pretty fun weekend run with some bands from the Central Valley that we were gonna do. Shout out to Scandals, Farouk, but that got closed out. So. If anything, we're taking this time to write. So so we're already working on another 4 song release. We'll we're gonna hopefully track at the end of the year. Maybe release by the end of the year, or again like a January release or something.
Cool. So then, with that going on, how long, I guess, were you guys recording this up until this point, and then before this even, you were planning on releasing it?
I guess we knocked this out in the summer, honestly.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Would you with your homie and everything like that?
Yeah, back in July, I think it was. Yeah, back in July. So it was ready to go. Yeah.
And now it's kind of on pause for a little bit.
Kind of like put the brakes on
Yeah.
on everything. Yeah.
So then what's the... Oh, sorry. I'll probably just hold it there, make it easy. So then what's... when do you plan on, I guess, officially releasing it? Is it kind of up in the air at the moment, or is it when you're allowed to go back outside? Right.
Right. Well, we got the hard copies in. You know what I mean? Those are in now. So, I mean, if you're the homie, you know us already. Go ahead and hit us up. Get your copy that way.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it's gonna hit everything online though. April 10th right now.
April 10th.
And we were having troubles. There we go. We were having troubles with our distribution earlier part of the month too. So we were gonna plan to do a March drop and everything along with the CD release show and all. And honestly, I'm glad it kind of stalled it out because we didn't have the show. So April 10th. Look out for it. That's hopefully going to be the release date for. It's going to be on Spotify, iTunes, all the good stuff there. So
And then of course we'll have hard copies available at shows.
Yeah.
So once hopefully we're all able to start playing again.
Yeah. So then, on the same note of the album, so why Hood Shit? What's that?
Okay.
It's all lyrical based. So I'll let him answer that. Yeah. Honestly. But
Well, I mean, everybody one thing about our music, people have always said it just has this San Jose kind of Latino Cholo vibe to it. It's a nice bounce. We try to keep the riffs fast, bouncy, fun, and I think it just reflects the area that we're at right now. And Hood Shit, for I guess this. Yeah, okay, it's a long story but short story at the same time. You know what I mean? Okay, our first 2 releases, it was Bloodlines Memories, followed by Disruptor, which both were heavily social and political based as far as the lyrical content was concerned, and so. Which is something that I feel having a microphone and a platform is important to do, and I've always looked up to groups that did that in the past. So I just wanted to keep the torch going with that. But with that, you run into things of the nature of having to debate the lyrics, having to talk to them and being checked on them, which is perfectly fine. It's cool. If anything, I like our music to be a dialogue, But it comes after a while that. Sometimes some people are just here for the fun of it. They don't want to be preached to. They don't want to be teached to. And that's completely cool. That's fine. If anything, that's the essence of, hardcore as well, too. It's, the experience. You're writing the music for the fans, the parts and everything. It's, which makes this time of COVID so hard because the music is made for people, It's weird just having to, and I see a lot of people doing the video shows and all, and I commend you. It's sick, we'll probably televise a practice or something. I just don't want to be somebody that's I don't know. It gets to a point of biting. So we're not trying to do that, as much. We just But if that's the only way to showcase the music, then let it be. But again, why hood shit? Because it's just a strip down, bro. It's hood shit for me. It's like, chilling with the homies. You out on the stoop, you guys are sharing beers, fucking sharing some smoke, out skating with the homies. Then just at the park and all, like doing your thing, just like being in the car with the homies, listening to the new tracks, pumping your friends' bands and stuff. Like that's hood shit. So in essence, these songs are like reflecting back on like what is hardcore for us, and like that it is fun, that it does have a root, it came from somewhere, and in essence it's for everybody, dude. It's your hood shit, so like that's the means of the album for sure.
Yes. In a way, it's kind of like with this, we're throwing up our set, San Jose, hood shit, Shark City, so.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, I think the essence of San Jose definitely is, like, shown with you guys.
Yeah.
Right now, like, if you watch the music video, you just do Weapon Rex.
Yeah, shout out, hey, Mark.
Like, there's a lot of good San Jose spots around here, right?
Exactly,
And
yeah.
so, like, I've noticed that, and I'm from LA, but, like, being in downtown a lot, you start to think, oh, I know where that graffiti spot's at. Oh, I know where that back alley is. Like, interesting. But even at shows where, like, I feel like, while it is like a bigger thing, like seeing like UFW flag in the video on the shows, I feel like that's something that really is like San Jose, right? Yeah. Like if you really get back like to the cherry tree kind of like days, right? Like it's definitely like part of that with you guys. So then I guess how would you say? I mean that might answer it, but like how have you say San Jose as a whole has made you a little more unique than maybe some other acts out there?
I think for myself and what I bring to the band, I've been rooted here playing music since '96 in San Jose.
Oh, wow.
So I have a lot of roots here, like growing up or going through some of the different music eras that was going on at the time.
His riffs are the essence.
Yes, yeah. So I think that's what's kind of made us unique with San Jose is like I've been playing San Jose since '96. So I think the sound, anyone who knows me or any of the bands I've been in, they can hear that similar sound with every band I go to. It kind of has that Joey sound, but more that San Jose sound.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So are there any, like I know a lot of people talk about like, this famous band from the 80s or this band from the 90s, like is influencing me. Are there any like local bands you've seen that are either here or not here anymore that you felt like still kind of drive you to like be an artist?
I think just honestly like no band in particular, but maybe just seeing a lot of musicians that I grew up with still playing in other bands. Maybe not doing it as big, but they're still playing music, still being a musician, That's what kind of drives me to keep going, because, I kind of locked up on that one.
Right. No, it makes sense. Yeah. I mean, he's a musician. What else is he going to do, right? Yeah, like that's how I see it. That's how I see myself, so for sure.
Very cool. So then, I guess, kind of pulling it back a bit, like, what... like is the goal of Delores? Are you guys trying to be like a big act that's touring all the time? Is it more just like something you guys are doing to keep it local? Just give yourself more of that free time to yourself? Like what?
I'd say, at least, I would say honestly, all our goals, like, we'd love to take this to the next level. You know what I mean? Like, I feel we do it in a professional manner. We're meeting weekly. We're what do you say? Checking our stats, making sure we got that social media presence, spending money on the merch, like making sure everything that we put out is like refined. We look over it, like, so definitely would say like it's not a hobby. We take it serious, and if anybody else wants to take it serious with us, hit us up for real. But yeah, no, it's something. This has been going on since like 2015, 2016.
I had a memory pop up on Facebook that I showed them. It's when we became officially Dolores, and it was like 5 years ago, a few days ago. So it's been 5 years, And along with that, like where we want to go with it too is like we're still creating music, lyrics are still flowing, song ideas are still flowing. So it's moving, like it's 24/7, So I guess as long as the juices are still flowing, then exactly,
yeah. No, and I was gonna say and I guess but some people too, they'll still see us as like maybe a newer band on the scene and all, and which is cool, but we've been there, we're putting in the work, but also talking about San Jose, like you say, we're like blessed and also like we got some competition in our hands to be in the area that we're at because it is a pretty big as far as like hardcore powerhouse here. I mean, well, we had 3 of the local bands on This Is Hardcore already this past year. I mean, so bands in our area like you got Drain, you got Gulch, you got Tsunami, yeah. Big Boy, you got Spinebreaker, you know what I mean? So they've had their names out there a good couple of years and stuff, so we're just trying to get in the mix, you know what I mean? For real, though, for sure.
I was actually in a band with Sammy and Drain
back
in high school, yeah.
Man,
yeah.
Like,
I think for me, no, sorry, you guys, it was definitely like cool because like I got to like, well, it wasn't that good, right? But I definitely got to be like in that early stage with them. And then for both of us to end up here in the Bay, like on 2 different routes without trying to be, and then hearing like people getting tattoos of this band and stuff like damn dog, like y'all moving on up.
What did you do in that band?
What?
What did you do in that band?
I play guitar.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. But definitely I wasn't someone that like practiced probably as much as I should have, and like was definitely trying to do like 100 things at once, and the band was just like one of those things.
Yeah.
But I digress, right? Yeah, there's a little fun fact there. Well, so on that note, right, like I did an interview with Alex Lee of Holy Grail not long ago, and he was saying that as he got more into the music business, like everyone that were his friends, he was like looking up to, he realized like it really does become a competitive scene after a while. Like you really are, this is your job.
Yeah.
So then, like, how would you say, as Delores, how do you guys, I guess, like stay competitive in such a competitive market, especially in San Jose?
Yeah. I mean, as far as like all those bands being San Jose and like San Jose sounds and all, I feel we bring to the table like a package that, yeah, we're part of the scene, but we bring it out in such a unique way. And I think when other people see that, also people who are like, let's just, mainstreamers or people from other genres and all, like, they attach to it and able to relate to it and everything that we have the package as far as being San Jose hardcore or San Jose, metal, San Jose punk rock. Like we emanate the essence of the South Bay for them, in that kind of fashion, like, whereas some of the bands here, they're from that band, that scene, because it's built and known, but I think once presented, fresh eyes and all, and what they see when they see us, we completely embody that. Yeah. So,
yeah.
I agree.
Very cool. Okay, so one question on the note, you mentioned that about like 5 years ago, we're on Facebook, it knowed you, hey, 5 years ago today, right? Here's what happened. So I guess what is like the origin story of Delores? How did that even come to be in the first place?
So basically, I already had another project I was trying to kind of along the lines of what we're doing, just trying to get a band going, and we lost the singer, and it was just me and a drummer. And I was playing, I was filling in for Infinite Sleep. What up, Infinite Sleep? From San Jose also. I was filling in on guitar. And we played the X Bar. And I believe the band was called Reverend that you're in? Reverie?
Yeah,
Reverie?
Yeah.
But I'd never seen Leo before. But I'm watching him play, and I just see this guy wrapping, the mic cord around his hand, just stomping, hair going, I was just looking at him. I'm just like, I told my daughter, I was like, hey, that's our new singer right there. And she's like, oh, she's like, you know him? I'm like, no. I'm like, but I'm going to get him. I was like, I want him. So after the show, I approached him, and we started talking, and that just kind of lit the fire there, and we started jamming, and decided to start completely over. So he came up with the name Dolores, and it stuck, and we just went from there.
Well, what made you choose that name?
Well, like, I don't know, it's hard, like, growing up, like, ever since I was young, I always thought it'd be cool to finally be in a group with, like, all Latinos and stuff like that, you know what I mean? Like, me, personally, I'm, like, Afro-Rican, fucking black Puerto Rican. Hey, what's up, my man? Wepa! So I just thought that solidarity would just be something cool growing up. There's certain bands that have, like, kind of done it in the past and all, like, members of, like, Madball and stuff like that, just, like, I just thought it'd be something kind of cool, and it just so we weren't looking for that. It just lined up that it was like that. So I was like, shit, man, let's think of, like, a one-word phrase that can, like, really drive home what we're trying to go for. We know we wanted something punk rock, but definitely the hardcore realm. Like, I mean, when he approached me about the project, it was like hardcore band, So it just dawned on me one day. I was like, oh, Dolores. That's sick, dude. Like sorrows, pains, you know, in Spanish, but also just like it's like almost a harsh word. It's hard. It's heavy when you say it. You got to put emphasis Dolores, you know, like in saying it. So I don't know. It just rung out. I thought it was a good name for a band, and also it just kind of reflects what we were speaking of, like also political wise, because it's kind of like a spin also on Dolores Huerta, who kind of was like the co-founder with Cesar Chavez, you know, the former the VFW or VFW. So so I just thought in essence it just carried a lot of weight for that name. So I was like, hey, let's roll with it. Yeah.
Very cool. Well, so on that note, right? When you go to your guys' band camp, you mentioned that you're punk hardcore band, but you also say you're Latin X hardcore band.
Yeah.
For those, I guess, that might not be aware of what that is, the Latin X part, like, could you guys just kind of educate?
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't know. Like, what's a good way of saying it? It's just signifying the fact of, like, I guess trying to give power to the word, you know, Latin, Latino, Latina to everybody, you know. And so with Latina X, you're kind of just being able to cross that bridge, you know, in a way, like, because again, getting into like social issues and speaking on like just language and how language develops and all, like, you know, and we'll go with flow. I understand everybody's always evolving. You know, nobody's, like I say, nobody's woke. Everybody is always waking. You know, like you can't reach a point, right? You, like I said, there's times where I thought I could be the most progressive person in the room. Somebody hits me up with something else. You know, you're like, what? Yeah. You know, like so it's not there to be something to challenge you or get you upset and all. Just understand it's another group of people who want their rights acknowledged. And that's just how, you know, as this world becomes more and more equal, there's certain things that shift, right? So where you used to walk down the sidewalk, not move for anybody, you know, you don't think of it as privilege. You know, everybody else is moving out of your way. Eventually, you know, those people don't want to move out of your way. You know, you got to start working your way around people. So it looks like you're losing this thing and they're taking it away when actually everything's just equalizing. You just never realized you had that privilege in the first place, you know? Yeah, so it's just working with people, having that connection, and Latinx is just another way of being able to like pump the scene, pump everybody, man, women, you know, and just bring us all together. I think it's a unifying factor in saying it that way. So.
Very cool. No, I appreciate that. Okay, yeah, no, I never thought about that privilege part. Like, I think that's cool because, so it sounds like you're not even like trying to like push an agenda. You're more just like, hey, this is what we're doing. Yeah. The fact that we're noting what we are helps in some way, not advertise it, but like it puts it out there for you to think about.
Exactly. You know, and then I know sometimes with that tag, it could weed out people or bring them in. Whereas you know, some people are like, oh, they're trying to be like on that kind of tip. Fuck those guys. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I'm not here to preach to you. I'm not preaching to you or nothing. It's just we acknowledge. You know what I mean? The ever changing world, and you know we down to change with y'all. You know, like for the better. There you go. Yeah.
Very cool. Okay. No, that's cool. I never even like thought like in college, right? Like I was taking a Chicano feminism class, and that brought up, and was like, and like it's not even that like it's like, oh, this is something new. It's like I feel like when I got to college, like there was so much I didn't realize about social. Yeah. Right. They kind of got a little overwhelming. I was like, I don't even want to try to learn. Yeah. But then like post college, like it doesn't just go. It's not just it's in college thing. Like it's still a social dude. It's out there.
Yeah.
And I think once you start to see like, okay, this isn't just someone in cloud talking about it. This is like a real movement. You're like, oh, okay, let me give a little more respect to like what's trying to go on here.
Exactly. Right? You know. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's another issue in the growing issue of human equality. Mm-hmm. That's what I think. You know, for sure. Very
cool. So then, what is it? I guess more for you, Joey. Yeah. I guess why do you have the UFW flag? Like, how come you like make it like a what's the word? A habit to always kind of bring it out. Like even music video, we're up in racks, bring out shows. Like why is that such like a symbol for you?
Mainly like my culture, my background. Mm-hmm. My grandparents, they worked in the fields out in Bakersfield, California. Earlier you mentioned like the cherry farms and like the apricots. We used to cut apricots in the summer in Sunnyvale.
Oh, what?
So and even when I was a little kid, we'd go visit my grandparents, and they took us out there 5:30 in the morning, pulling carrots. Yeah. You know what I mean? The sun coming up, and my other cousins crying because they couldn't handle it. But they wanted to embed hard work into us and like how it is to struggle and walk away all that hard work with $5 in your pocket. You know what I mean? So it's kind of more of a tribute and just my rooted where I'm from and my family and my culture, the way I was raised. So with the name Dolores, how it generated to how it's becoming now, kind of along the lines of the Dolores Huerta and Cesar Chavez and my family being part of that. So
and put it in that hard work.
Put in that hard work.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're Latino based. So just kind of bringing out my roots, my culture.
I mean, it's cool because it's like very natural for all of you, right? Like this all you guys did, like I said, like very beginning, like you guys very San Jose based. Yeah. And so it seems like even the history of San Jose is still kind of part of the band in some factor.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's cool. And then that's not intentional, right? That's just naturally you guys.
Well, I mean, like I said, I've been playing in the scene since like '96, '97. So I've been around. I've been part of the San Jose music scene for a long time. So I think, like I said, that's what you kind of hear in our sound, the San Jose sound. Like, I've been playing since with the Papa Roach bands and Salmon and Tribal Disco Noise and Lickisto, all those old school bands. The Sick from San Francisco. So I was during that era. So, and it was always San Jose. Like the bands I was in were all San Jose bands. So.
Yeah. So then, how would you say, because you have like that fortunate you're fortunate enough to be part of that history. I guess how has like the San Jose sound changed from the '90s to now?
Oh gosh, crazy, huh?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different genres going around. Back in the '90s, it was different. I guess there was just more. I hate to say there was more of a music scene, but there was like a bigger scene. A lot of bands came out of that time. Now it's just a lot of different genre like bands. They all kind of have the similar San Jose sound, but yeah.
No, the subgenres killed big major music scenes. I feel.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, right. I mean, that's what happened. I mean, and I've seen it all over because I grew up a lot on like East Coast and stuff like that, So, but just main thing I see just with subgenres is freaking awesome. It's sick, It's cool to build upon what was there before, But I feel with that, I remember being younger in my teens and like it would be mixed bill show. It's like everything was always underground, you know what I mean, or extreme music, but. I mean, it'd be as silly as like you'd have like a hardcore punk band, a grind band, a ska band, and then end with something like kind of melodic, like instrumental, but they played and rocked out crazy as shit, Like, but now it's like even hardcore. If you're not beat down hardcore, you're not playing this show. If you're not old school like fast punk rock like hardcore, you're not playing that show. You know what I mean? It's splitting like that. So I mean, it's kind of self-defeating. It's a Yeah, and then, I've noticed that some of the venues have switched up. So some of those videos and shots you see, oh, man, they're holding it down. These people are like, they're going crazy. But it's kind of easy to go crazy when you're like a known band that's still playing a house show and just packing a little living room. You know what I mean? Yeah, like when you put it in the aspect of what certain like other major like metal bands or even rappers or hip-hop groups are doing, they're being able to have that notoriety and they're packing out a nice sized venue, 500 people or something like that. So I think it's that inner fighting within the scenes that's kind of like chopped up participation.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that? Cause I felt like that was. So I saw something like that when I was in high school, and that was like very like high school, right? Like it was that same thing. Like if you're trying to be part of like this group, like it goes back to okay, like 9 songs of this group. Okay, now you like there's like very gatekeeperish, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then what's I guess being like veterans in it, what do you think are like I guess three things that not three things, but like what are some things that could change, I guess, with the current scene to help kind of all of it grow together, right?
Ooh, 3 things. Yeah. You gotta tackle one of these.
Right?
I guess more of the camaraderie that I see out there, like everyone actually supporting every local band from San Jose, because there are a lot of San Jose bands that are putting in as much work as we are, and just kind of standing behind you know, the local bands that are coming out of San Jose. It's still, sorry, but it still is kind of cliquey, you know. But you know, and obviously like more all ages venues would definitely help.
Yeah, it's definitely the killer.
I mean, the Peace and Justice is cool, and there's an elementary school they do shows at. Those are cool, but open up like a venue. Open up a venue where you can get 16 and older, or you know, just all ages. I think that would help too. You know, some of the promoters trying to bring some of the San Jose rooted bands to open up for some of the national acts that come through, because that's how it used to be back in the 90s, and that's how the scene started growing. You know, so yeah.
So bring back venues. All ages. I guess bands themselves that try not to be too cliquey too, and want to play with like other genres as well too. And all like, I know we did a lot of that in the beginning as well too. We kind of just like play with anybody, you know. Like if you want to like bang your head and like have a good time, then sure, we're down. You know. So that, and then the other thing. I mean, it's always nice to have more people come out. I don't know how you fix that. You know what I mean? Yeah, for sure. So like, it's not just on like, it's not just on the gatekeepers, it's not just on the music makers, but the people participating. You know, get out your fucking house. Even though I know you can't do that right now. So,
it really is a group effort. Like,
there you go.
It's like it's your fault. It's like we're all in this. We all gotta work. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, that makes sense. The three things that make shows happen in the first place: bands, promoters, attendance. So like if all three of us can like step up our game, I guess we'll be better in the long run. So
very cool. All right, guys, I think we're reaching a point where time to wrap up. Can I ask one last question?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. I know you mentioned that, you know, Hochi will be coming out April 10th.
yes.
Cool. I guess as soon as COVID spills over, if it spills over soon, hopefully, what can people expect from Delores in that time period?
Let me hit this. We got a run coming up. June, I think the first week of June. Got our homies Foes. Check them out, man. Fucking Foes show for real, dude. Sick as hell. These guys are fucking crazy. And then hopefully we're gonna do like a little stint with boys from Scoundrel, holding down Fresno, and that's gonna be like last week of May. So hopefully they'll let these up, but that's what's next in line. Other than that, there we go. Other than that, we're writing the new one. So yeah, we're ready. Exactly. 3 songs deep, and just with the way music goes nowadays, I feel it's you know, the Twitter generation. It's better to put out a bunch of small things at once instead of one whole album, because they're not gonna listen to it, man. Not all in one time. So
I think Hobson. I don't know if you had to listen to him.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That was the first time I heard that from someone like him. He was like, today's generation putting too much work into one big thing that just over your heads.
Exactly. So that's why it's kind of drop you know, a few couple of songs, add the videos to keep that then going, then pump it out with shows, fucking advertise that, then start working on the next. So rinse and repeat.
That's good, right? All right, guys, I appreciate it. All right, everyone, thank you all for joining. I guess one last thing, where can people follow you at?
Oh shit. Any platform is gonna be Dolores Hardcore. So at Dolores Hardcore, Bandcamp, Facebook, Instagram, all that.
Cool. All right, guys. Thank you so much, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.
Yeah.